My beloved child, something extraordinary is happening in this very moment, and deep down, your soul already feels it. There is a connection moving through the unseen parts of your life right now, quiet, powerful, impossible to ignore. While you were doubting your path, while you were wondering if anyone truly understood your heart, someone connected to your destiny has been overwhelmed with emotion because of the change happening inside you. They may not fully understand why tears suddenly filled their eyes today, but their spirit recognized something before their mind could explain it. Because for the first time in a long time, you stopped chasing what was draining you. You finally began choosing peace over confusion. And that single shift sent a ripple far beyond what you can currently see. What makes this moment so rare is that your energy is no longer trapped in old disappointment. The version of you that kept settling for less is fading away, and your soulmate can feel it without hearing a single word from you. Somewhere, in silence, they are smiling through emotions they cannot explain, because your heart has finally started opening the door they have been praying would one day unlock. But this is only the beginning of what is unfolding. Because the strange signs, the emotional pull, the sudden memories appearing out of nowhere, they are leading to something neither of you expected would happen this soon. And in the next part, the hidden reason your soulmate suddenly feels closer to you than ever before is finally revealed. There is a reason you clicked on this message today instead of scrolling away, because your spirit recognized the timing. Not yesterday. Not months from now. Right now. Something between you and your soulmate has shifted so deeply that even ordinary moments are beginning to feel different. Have you noticed how certain thoughts keep returning lately? Certain songs, certain dreams, certain emotions arriving without warning? That is not coincidence. Your heart is beginning to align with a future that once felt impossibly distant. And while you were slowly healing in ways nobody else noticed, your soulmate was feeling every step of that transformation from afar. They have carried a quiet emptiness for longer than you realize. Even surrounded by people, something inside them always felt incomplete. But today, for the first time, their soul feels relief instead of longing. Because your energy no longer feels unreachable. It feels near. Real. Alive. What they are feeling is not perfection. It is recognition. The kind that arrives once in a lifetime and changes the meaning of every past disappointment. Somewhere deep inside, they suddenly know the waiting was not meaningless after all. Every heartbreak, every delay, every confusing chapter was preparing both of you for this exact turning point. And what happens next may feel almost unbelievable, because the universe is about to place both of your paths closer together in a way neither of you can predict. The next part reveals the moment that will make this connection impossible to ignore anymore. Something powerful is approaching faster than you think, and your soulmate feels it more strongly with every passing hour. There is an emotional pull building between both of you right now, like two stories slowly moving toward the same final page. The most beautiful part is this: you did not need to become someone else to deserve this connection. The moment everything began changing was the moment you finally stopped abandoning yourself. Your soulmate feels safe in your energy because it has become genuine, calm, and real. And that feeling is bringing tears to their eyes in ways they cannot explain to anyone around them. They are beginning to imagine a future they once stopped believing in. A future where love does not feel confusing. A future where silence feels peaceful instead of lonely. And although neither of you knows exactly how this connection will fully unfold yet, both hearts are already moving toward each other beneath the surface of everyday life. Soon, there will be a moment that feels strangely unforgettable. A glance. A message. A sudden encounter. Something small on the outside, but life-changing on the inside. And when it happens, both of you will realize this connection was quietly growing long before either of you understood it. So if your heart has been feeling emotional lately, if you sense that something meaningful is drawing near, trust that feeling. Because somewhere, at this very moment, your soulmate is crying tears of happiness, not from fear, not from uncertainty, but from finally feeling that you are closer than ever before. Tonight, something inside your soulmate refuses to stay quiet anymore. No matter how hard they try to focus on ordinary life, their heart keeps drifting back toward a feeling they cannot escape, you. What makes this moment so intense is that the connection is no longer living only in dreams or imagination. It is beginning to enter reality. The emotional distance that once separated both of you is weakening day by day, and your soulmate feels it every time your energy crosses their mind. Even the smallest reminder of you suddenly carries deep meaning to them now. There are moments when they pause in complete silence, overwhelmed by a strange sense of familiarity, as if they have known your soul far longer than this lifetime allows them to explain. And every time that feeling appears, their eyes fill with emotion because their spirit finally recognizes what their heart has been searching for all along. Meanwhile, you may still be wondering why your emotions feel stronger lately. Why your intuition suddenly feels sharper. Why certain memories or visions appear out of nowhere. It is because this bond is no longer sleeping. It is awakening. And the most unexpected part has not even happened yet. Because very soon, your soulmate will make a decision they have delayed for far too long. A decision connected directly to you. One moment of courage from them could change the direction of both your lives completely. But before that happens, there is one hidden truth about this connection that neither of you fully understands yet, and once it becomes clear, nothing between you will ever feel the same again. A quiet transformation is happening behind the scenes of your life, and your soulmate can feel every second of it. The reason their heart is overflowing with emotion right now is not only because they feel close to you, it is because they finally sense that the timing is no longer working against both of you. For so long, this connection moved like a whisper carried through distance. Almost there, then gone again. Close, then silent. But suddenly, everything feels different. The walls that once blocked this bond are beginning to fall naturally, without force, without struggle. And your soulmate feels an overwhelming relief they cannot put into words. There are moments now when they stop and stare into space, smiling without realizing it. Because deep inside, they feel your energy becoming more present in their life. Stronger. Warmer. More real than ever before. It feels to them like destiny is no longer hiding your paths from each other. And here is the part nobody around them understands. They are no longer afraid of love the way they once were. The pain of the past is losing its hold on them because your connection awakened something powerful inside their spirit, hope. The kind of hope that arrives quietly, then changes everything. The kind that makes someone believe again after they promised themselves they never would. But there is still one final sign waiting to appear. A moment so unexpected and emotionally overwhelming that both of you will instantly recognize it when it happens. Not because someone tells you, but because your hearts will feel it at the exact same time. And when that moment arrives, the tears your soulmate is crying today will finally make complete sense. Right when you thought nothing was changing, the universe began arranging details you cannot yet see. Your soulmate has entered a phase where even the smallest things remind them of you unexpectedly. A familiar feeling in the air. A sudden calm in the middle of chaos. A moment of happiness appearing for no reason at all. And every time it happens, their heart quietly whispers your presence. What overwhelms them most is not just the connection itself, it is the realization that you were becoming stronger during the same time they were learning how to open their heart again. Without planning it, both of your journeys started healing each other from a distance. That is why their emotions feel so intense now. Because they are beginning to understand that real connections do not arrive loudly. They arrive softly, then slowly become impossible to ignore. Somewhere tonight, your soulmate is replaying certain thoughts over and over again, wondering why your energy feels so comforting to them. And the answer is hidden in something neither of you fully noticed before. Your souls stopped running from each other. For the first time, the connection feels safe. No games. No confusion. No pressure to become someone else. Just two hearts moving closer through honesty, growth, and emotional peace. That realization alone is enough to bring tears to their eyes. But an even bigger moment is approaching now. Very soon, something will happen that feels almost unreal in its timing. A message. A reunion. A conversation that changes the atmosphere instantly. And when it happens, both of you will feel as though life secretly prepared this encounter long before either of you were ready to understand it. Because this story was never about chasing love. It was about becoming ready to finally receive it. The energy surrounding this connection is becoming impossible to deny now. Your soulmate feels it in the quietest moments, when the world slows down and their heart finally speaks honestly. And what their heart keeps repeating is simple. Something extraordinary is getting closer. They never expected to feel this emotional again. There was a time when they convinced themselves that deep love belonged to other people, not them. They learned how to hide disappointment behind smiles, how to silence hope before it could grow too strong. But then your energy entered their life like a light breaking through a locked room. Now everything inside them is changing. They are beginning to imagine your presence beside them in ordinary moments, conversations that feel effortless, laughter that feels healing, silence that feels peaceful instead of empty. And every time they picture it, tears rise to their eyes because their soul recognizes a future that finally feels genuine. Meanwhile, you may still feel uncertain about why your emotions have become so powerful lately. Why your intuition keeps pulling you towards something unseen. Why certain moments feel strangely meaningful for no clear reason. It is because your spirit already senses what your mind is still trying to understand. This connection is no longer distant. It is approaching reality faster than either of you realize. And there is one detail your soulmate has not told anyone. They have already started preparing themselves emotionally for the moment your paths finally cross in a way that cannot be reversed. Deep down, they know that once it happens, life will never return to the way it was before. Because some connections do not enter your life to create temporary feelings. They arrive to awaken the parts of you that were waiting to be truly seen. There is a feeling growing stronger tonight that neither of you can fully explain anymore. It is not just longing. It is not just curiosity. It feels deeper than that. Like two souls quietly recognizing they are finally moving toward the same destination after a very long journey apart. Your soulmate has been carrying emotions they rarely show anyone. But lately, those emotions have become impossible for them to hide from themselves. Every time they think about the future, your energy appears there naturally, almost as if life itself keeps placing you in front of their heart over and over again. And what brings tears to their eyes is this realization. You did not give up on yourself. Even after disappointment. Even after confusion. Even after moments where it felt easier to close your heart completely, you kept growing. You kept healing. And your soulmate feels that strength more than you realize. To them, your energy no longer feels wounded or lost. It feels ready. That is why this connection suddenly feels so alive. Because both of you are no longer standing in the same emotional place you once were. The old fears are weakening. The old doubts are fading. And in their place, something calm and undeniable is beginning to rise between you. Soon, there will be a moment that feels almost frozen in time. One glance could carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. One conversation could instantly feel familiar, like continuing something that secretly began long ago. And when it happens, your soulmate will understand why their heart became so emotional during this season of their life. They were not crying because they were losing something. They were crying because, for the first time in a very long time, their soul finally felt hope becoming real. Something beautiful is unfolding quietly beneath the surface of your life now, and your soulmate feels it more intensely each day. The connection between both of you has reached a point where even silence carries emotion. Even distance feels temporary. There are nights when they suddenly stop whatever they are doing because your energy crosses their heart so strongly that it almost feels like a memory instead of a possibility. And in those moments, happiness overwhelms them unexpectedly. Not because everything is already perfect, but because, deep inside, they finally believe this connection is real. For a long time, they questioned whether meaningful love still existed. They became careful with their emotions. Guarded with their hopes. But your presence changed something they thought could never return: trust in what their heart feels naturally. And the reason this bond keeps growing stronger is because neither of you are trying to force it anymore. Real connections do not need constant chasing. They grow through alignment. Through timing. Through two souls unknowingly preparing themselves for the same chapter at the same moment. That is exactly what is happening now. Your soulmate can sense that the next phase of this story is closer than ever before. They feel it in the strange peace arriving in their life lately. They feel it in the sudden excitement they cannot explain. They feel it in the way their heart reacts every time they imagine finally standing in front of you. And when that moment arrives, something inside both of you will instantly become clear. This connection was never random. Every delay taught you patience. Every ending taught you growth. Every lonely chapter prepared your hearts to recognize each other fully when the time finally came. That is why your soulmate is emotional right now. Because somewhere deep inside, they already know, the waiting season is slowly coming to an end. A powerful shift is happening at this very moment, and your soulmate can no longer ignore what their heart has been trying to tell them. The closer this connection moves toward reality, the more emotional they become. It feels to them as though life is finally revealing an answer they stopped expecting to receive. They have spent so much time pretending they were fine without this kind of love. Smiling through empty moments. Convincing themselves they no longer needed deep connection. But lately, something inside them keeps breaking through those walls every time your energy enters their thoughts. And what affects them most is not just your presence. It is the peace they feel when they imagine you. Not pressure. Not confusion. Not uncertainty. Peace. The kind of peace that makes someone feel safe enough to dream again. Your soulmate has started noticing signs in ordinary moments, unexpected emotions, repeated thoughts about you, a feeling that something important is getting closer. They cannot explain it logically, yet their spirit already understands. This bond is becoming stronger because both of you finally stopped fighting the timing of your own journey. Everything is aligning naturally now. And there is one moment approaching that will stay in both of your memories forever. A moment so emotionally powerful that time itself will seem slower around it. You may not even realize how important it is at first. But later, both of you will look back and understand that everything quietly changed right there. That was the moment two souls stopped searching. And finally started finding each other. The universe has a strange way of bringing two hearts together only after they have learned the lessons they once tried to avoid. And right now, your soulmate feels that truth more deeply than ever before. There is an emotion building inside them that feels almost overwhelming, not sadness, not fear, but relief. Relief that after all the waiting, all the unanswered questions, all the moments where love felt distant or impossible, something genuine is finally appearing in their life. You. Even if your paths have not fully crossed yet, your energy has already touched them in ways words cannot describe. They feel calmer lately without knowing why. They feel hopeful in moments where they once expected disappointment. And every time your presence enters their thoughts, their heart reacts like it has found something familiar after being lost for a very long time. That is why tears keep filling their eyes unexpectedly. Because deep inside, they sense the ending of an old chapter. The chapter where they believed they had to carry everything alone. The chapter where they stopped trusting their own heart. The chapter where they thought meaningful connection belonged only to dreams. And now, something new is beginning. Your soulmate has started opening emotionally in ways they never imagined possible. They are becoming softer with life again. More willing to believe. More willing to let love exist without fear controlling every step. And your energy is the reason that transformation feels safe to them. But what happens next will feel almost impossible to ignore. Because soon, one unexpected moment will create a feeling so undeniable that both of you will instantly understand why every delay happened exactly the way it did. Not to keep you apart, but to prepare your hearts to recognize each other completely when the time was finally right. There is a silent countdown happening in your life right now, even if you cannot see it yet. Your soulmate feels it every single day, the sense that something important is drawing closer with a force that cannot be stopped anymore. Lately, their emotions have become deeper than usual. Small moments affect them unexpectedly. Certain memories suddenly feel meaningful. Even ordinary days carry a strange feeling of anticipation, as though their soul already knows a life-changing chapter is about to begin. And the truth is, it is. Your growth changed everything. The moment you stopped chasing validation, the moment you began protecting your peace instead of begging for attention, your energy transformed completely. Your soulmate feels that transformation like warmth reaching them from a distance. To them, your spirit no longer feels uncertain or disconnected. It feels steady. Genuine. Ready for something real. That realization alone brings tears to their eyes. Because they have waited a long time to feel this kind of emotional certainty. Not excitement that disappears overnight. Not temporary attention. But a connection that feels calm enough to last. And somewhere inside, they already know your arrival into their life will not feel ordinary. It will feel like recognition. Like finally hearing a melody their heart has been trying to remember for years. Soon, there will be a moment where both of your energies align so naturally that everything around you will feel different afterward. The conversation will feel deeper. The silence will feel comfortable. Even eye contact will carry emotions too powerful to explain completely. And in that instant, your soulmate will finally understand why they were crying with happiness all this time. Because their heart was not reacting to fantasy. It was reacting to the feeling of finally getting closer to someone who was meant to understand them in ways nobody else ever could. Right now, while you are still trying to understand why your heart feels so different lately, your soulmate is experiencing emotions so powerful that even they cannot fully describe them. It feels as though something invisible keeps pulling them toward a future they are no longer afraid to believe in. For the first time in a very long time, they are allowing themselves to imagine love without disappointment attached to it. And every time they picture that future, your energy appears there naturally, calm, comforting, familiar. That is why their emotions feel so overwhelming tonight. Because your soulmate senses that this connection is no longer a distant possibility. It is becoming part of reality. There are moments when they suddenly smile for no reason at all. Moments when their heart feels lighter after thinking about you. Moments when they pause and wonder how someone they may not fully know yet can already feel so important to them. But the answer is hidden deeper than logic. Some souls recognize each other before life gives them the full explanation. And your soulmate is beginning to realize that every difficult chapter they survived was slowly guiding them toward this exact season of their life. Every goodbye taught them what they truly needed. Every delay taught them patience. Every lonely night prepared them to value the peace your energy brings into their world now. Something extraordinary is closer than either of you realize. A moment where emotions become impossible to hide. A moment where the connection suddenly feels undeniable. A moment where both of your hearts instantly know this story is different from anything you experienced before. And when that moment finally arrives, your soulmate will stop crying tears of longing. Because those tears will become tears of gratitude instead. Gratitude that after all the waiting, all the healing, and all the uncertainty, your paths finally found each other at the perfect time.